So I need to explain all this. Today's health update is not much different from last time, but I do have now this AEEG test that I'm doing. It's an at-home EEG. It's a from neurology, obviously, but it's a test to look for seizures and different types of brain activity. And this one is different from the regular EEG, but that one's just like 1 hour and it's in office. This one you take home. It's for 3 to 4 days and 3 nights. So besides wearing this on my body all the time, does not come off. When I sleep with it, I put it up above my head on the pillow. There's also a camera that faces the bed that records you at nighttime, just to probably like see body movements. I'm not actually sure about the camera. It's kind of weird, but I get it because at nighttime I can't push one of the buttons on here that they have to actually to say, hey, an event's happening. So the camera's there to watch when I sleep, and so they'll probably compare that. Funny little fact about that is in the instructions for that camera, it says to be modest in your bedtime clothing. I laughed so loud because I am sure, just like the McDonald's hot coffee, label on there, that it happened to somebody and, they had to put that warning on there. So I got a little giggle out of it. But so anyway, this was put on my head Friday. Today is now Monday. I'm going in about 45 minutes to go and return it. But I thought I would explain this really quick. So there's 21 little, I guess they're called nodes on my head. And the wires, let's see if I won't know until after I watch this video if it comes through. So there's wires coming off of it. They're really tiny. And then they're all wrapped in this. And this thing, I usually clip it to the strap so that it doesn't keep falling down my arm, because that was annoying the first day. I don't have it on there now because I'm going to go return it here in a few minutes. But and then it stores all the data in this device. And if there's ever anything that occurs, I hit the button and then I go log it on the event sheet that I have. So for me, there hasn't been too many events. I'm supposed to mark down certain times, like change of emotion, headaches, dizziness, things like that. So, so the incident that happened on February 24th, sorry, to go back to that, I was at my therapist crying a lot, and at the end of it, I was doing better. We were talking, laughing, not laughing, but just having more of a calmer conversation, and everything was better. And so then it was time to go, and I got up, and I knew I was starting to get hungry, because when I cry, I get massive headaches, and it does blow through my blood sugar. It is just one of those, not just cry, I'm talking cry. My husband seems to think that might have been a panic attack. I've had panic attacks before. I don't remember it seeming like that, but I know they can manifest in different ways, so we're not ruling that out. But I got up and I started walking out of the door, and then there's a hallway you have to turn, and I went right to the corner of the wall, and I kind of fell into it like I was dizzy. And I stopped and I said, oh, okay, that's not good. And she says, are you okay? Do you need a minute? And so I said, yeah, I'm just gonna stand here for a second. So she was like, are you okay? And it didn't get better. And I asked her, I was like, do you have any candy or anything? So I probably just need to go to my car and get some candy or something. And she's like, well, I have candy here. The conversation, something like that. So she went and got me peanut M&Ms. I started eating a couple. I think I sat down in her office first. I can't remember exactly the trail of events here, and it really doesn't matter too much. But I gave peanut M&Ms, which I love. They're great, but there's not a ton of sugar in those. So then she went and got me, I think I may have walked to their little kitchenette there in the office first before I went and sat down in her office. So peanut M&Ms, and then she got me an orange. Peeled the orange for me. She's so sweet. I love her. Ate the orange really quick, little mandarin orange. Ate it really fast. That's a lot of like the perfect sugar to have. So then I still was kind of feeling off. So she had me sit down in her office. After eating the orange, I still was like, all of a sudden my body was getting heavier and heavier. So I have hypoglycemia, and we don't know. So idiopathic, because, well, not idiopathic, but we just don't, sorry, that's actually the wrong term. We just don't know the cause. We've checked my adrenal glands, my pituitary gland. There's no tumors. My blood work, it's either between Addison's and, I always say Crohn's, that's totally not it. Addison's and Cushing's disease. Now, all my symptoms, low blood sugar, low blood pressure, and all these other symptoms seem to fit Addison's, but my blood work says I don't have it. Whereas Cushing's is high blood sugar, high blood pressure, which doesn't fit me, but my blood work in the United States says it's kind of right below the border of saying yes, but in Europe it says I have Cushing's, which the symptoms don't match. So we're just going to monitor every 6 months, and we don't know. We don't know what else to do. So that's why we don't know why I have hypoglycemia. But since January, I've had 7 attacks or 7 occurrences of hypoglycemia. And usually I would have like 1 or 2 a year, maybe 3. So this was a big increase, especially by the time I think it was March or April when I finally went to my endocrinologist again for a follow-up on my thyroid, on my Hashimoto's. And yes, I have Hashimoto's and celiac disease. So I have other autoimmune diseases. So we ran all those tests, and that's when we found it out. But when I went in there, I'd already had so many attacks that it was more common, and something has increased and changed in my body recently. So anyway, back to the therapist's office. So I sat down, still wasn't feeling better. My body was getting really heavy, felt like a hypoglycemia attack. So she went and got me another orange, peeled it for me, and brought back, I think, a Sprite, something with sugar in it, and I'm just drinking and whatever. I've had plenty of sugar at this point to raise my blood pressure. My blood sugar level, although it did not. And I continued to get really heavy, and then my breathing started slowing down, and we got to the point where she's like, what do you want to do? Do you want me to call an ambulance? Do you want me to call your husband? And so I called my husband, and I asked him if he could come get me, because I have been to the hospital so many times, and it's always more of they just watch me and make sure nothing gets worse. That is where I'm at with my health. But I never just jump up and go to the hospital because something is different, because I would be at the hospital all the time. Most of the time things resolve on their own, but this one, I asked my husband to bring me home. And in the car, I had glucose, and I knew, or at home I had like an actual glucose packet, and my testers were in the car. So we get to the car, well, my husband comes and he has to carry me out, because at this point, man, my story is all over. This probably is not a very good video of reaccounting, because I can't stay on track. I'm sorry, that's my ADHD. And I don't want to blame it on it. I'm trying to get better. So he comes, gets me, and by that time, I can barely move my body. Like, I had slumped back in the chair, couldn't lift my head, the breathing was really shallow, and every time I was trying to eat, I would take a bite and I would eat, and then about every minute or so, I couldn't chew anymore. The food would just sit in my mouth, and like if it was juice, it would just slowly just pour into the back of my throat. Like, no control over anything. My eyes would start unfocusing, and my body would get really heavy. And I can hear everything that was going around, even though everything was kind of, it was weird. I was aware of everything that was going on, so I know I never passed out. And everybody says I never did. But it was strange how it was like an out-of-body experience. I don't know. And that's not even right either. But so we get to, my husband gets to me, picks me up. He has to carry me out of there, and then he puts me in the truck, and then takes me home. So when he comes home, he puts me on our bed, and he doesn't get me all the way on the bed, so my legs are heavy enough that they pull me off the bed and I fall. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't move my body, nothing. So thankfully when I fell, my head fell up into a position where it was like this against the bed, and I didn't hit anything or whatever. So I started laughing, and I was like, Brian, they came and picked me up and put me on the bed properly. And so for the next I don't know how long, I think it was 30 minutes or something, or 45 minutes, I kept going in and out of this state of, I can move my body, it's super exhausted, but now I can feed myself, and I'm trying to eat food, I'm trying to have more sugar, I'm trying to have protein chips. So in the car, my blood sugar tested to be in the 70s. So whatever sugar I had before, and by the time he got to me, had been at least 15 minutes because of the drive time to get me to the car, minimum. So the sugar that I had to have brought up my blood sugar. So I assume I had a blood sugar crash. I did not test it at the time of, but I did test it then. So it was like 70 or 79. When we get home, I'm eating more, and then I test again, and it's like 170. It's up there. So not my blood sugar anymore. So I'm still having this. It's the whole body thing where every minute or so, if I had to stop eating and be careful and eat really quick after these episodes would happen, because if I didn't, I had food in my mouth or liquid in my mouth, and then all of a sudden my arms would just drop, and my head, I couldn't do anything. I could barely talk, and I could barely move my mouth and my tongue, and my eyes would unfocus, and I would just like completely, and then breathing was difficult, and I would just have to focus on making sure I took breaths, even though they were very shallow. And then after about 30 seconds to a minute, it would come back, but I would be so exhausted, and I would just be forced to eat a chip, or eat their protein chips, or eat a piece of candy, or eat something, because if we're just thinking, I gotta get my blood sugar up. So at that point, I was trying to eat more protein, so after all that sugar, I didn't have a crash, the carbs and proteins. So it didn't stop. It didn't stop at all. And so my husband asked me if I should go to the hospital. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh gosh, because I hate it. You don't understand. I'm at the hospital at least twice a year for things like this, whether it's kidney stone or my heart, and now hypoglycemia. That is only once back in 2008 to 2009. It was New Year's Eve, and that put me in the hospital for 3 days when I had my first blood sugar crash, because by the time the paramedics got to me, it was in the 40s. So we didn't know why, so they kept me for a couple days. Still to this day, we don't know why it keeps happening. I do wear a monitor. This one is, if you're diabetic, you get the one prescribed that actually sends you notification that it's too high or too low, but since I'm not diabetic, I don't get that one. So I don't get an alarm that tells me it's too low. So I have to constantly look at my phone and check it. If I'm feeling off, I have to check and look. But I do, and I always have, eaten and known my sugar, carb, protein, tiny little meals, protein before bed to help through the night, like all these little tricks. So, but when it crashes, it crashes. And it doesn't always crash after like extreme emotion or extreme physical activity. You would think that, but it doesn't. It will just crash randomly. Nothing that I can think of triggers it. So this time there was a trigger. And what happened afterwards it was not normal. It was not, never ever happened to my body before. And losing control of your body and going like everything, just relaxing and just going, can't move, can't even pick up my arms, everything. Like I would just slump down, everything, like everything, face, it was crazy. So go to the hospital and they monitor me and they, record that it's still happening. So that happened so my appointments for my therapist are at 12 and they end at 1. So that happened about 1 o'clock-ish. And then at 11 o'clock that night, it was still happening, but I was having more time away from them. And the events were happening and they wouldn't be as long or as heavy of I could feel it, but I would still be able to keep my eyes mostly focused. So it's like it was fading out. It was good that was happening. But at 11 o'clock, they came to my room. By then, I was so exhausted, I went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up, and so for 10 hours, it was continually doing it and fading off. By the time I woke up the next morning in the hospital, because they did admit me, I wasn't having it anymore. So they had planned to keep me another day, or at least until the evening, just to monitor me. And I told them, I said, since I'm not having any symptoms, I just want to go home and just be at home. There's no reason to sit here in the hospital. So they discharged me at about noon. So since then, I went to the neurologist, which I have been seeing a neurologist for the past 3 years. This is my second neurologist I'm with, and they're amazing. Las Vegas Neurology. I will say nothing but good things about them. Doctors, staff, everything. They have all these different type of wellness centers. I deal with the headache center there, or the migraine and headache center, and then also with all the different testing. So this test, I'm not a doctor. I don't think it was seizures, but that's what this is looking for in different brain activity. I know this is just another thing to check off the list. If something comes of it, I will be completely shocked. But we just don't know why my body did that. And if this doesn't give any answers, and then my heart doctor appointment is in 2.5 weeks to follow up with him. He's in a yearly one, but I also do have PVCs. So they're different. There's different types of heart arrhythmias, but PVCs are usually brought on by stress, or they can just happen. But for me, since I have such a low blood pressure and a very low heart rate, especially at nighttime, I set up alarms in hospitals. It's always so low. But that's my normal, and it's been my normal for probably my whole life, as far as I know. Going back and looking at all my hospital visits and all that, it's always been low, like 90 over 57, or maybe in the low 60s. Like it would be 90 over 50 something, or 100 over 60. Like it's rare that it gets higher than that, and that's when I'm stressed. So stressed or nervous. So I cannot take beta blockers, which is the normal thing to give to people to help with PVCs. So because of that, I deal with PVCs, and the doctor has said that, and I've had attacks before, I think 2 years ago this July. So this is 2026, so 2 years ago in July of 2024, I was in the hospital for about 5 or 6 days, because my heart arrhythmia wouldn't stop. Like the first day, it was off. Like I have a little home test that you hold, and then you put it on your ankle, and it was showing PVCs. It was like nonstop. And so I went to the hospital, and it was like very easy. Yep, you're having PVCs. We're gonna monitor you. They know I can't take beta blockers, so they have to keep an eye on it. They kept me there for about 5 days, because they did more brain scans, and because the doctor would come in and say, oh, let's do this, and then you have to wait another 24 hours, and then, oh, let's do this, and then you wait another 24 hours for the test and the doctor to come back. That's why I was there so long. It's so ridiculous, but that's what I had to do. So so here we are today. I have my heart doctor appointment coming up, but once this comes through, I don't know what's next after this with the neurologist. There's a sheet that they have of all the different tests you can do. I don't know what's next. But going with the neurologist did show a lot of things, which is really good. Different things that are wrong with my spine, carpal tunnel in my right hand, and then a couple of other things. So it's good to know those things, but it's not what we were looking for. So that and the heart doctor and my endocrinologist just watching. So at this point, what I am doing is I am using ChatGPT as a tool to compile all my medical documents and make a medical, it's like a doctor's packet that I could take to a tertiary place like UCLA. Mayo Clinic is not covered by my insurance, so UCLA, there might be others, I'd have to look. To be able to bring, so what it makes is a very compact packet. It's like under 20 pages, 15 to 20 pages of just the generalized my case, all my results and all the things. And then there's a big packet that's like 200 something pages or whatever with all the test results, all the summaries, all the systems in order of different stuff. So this is like an outline and then the big case. So I'm using that, and once it compiles it, I have this test result to give it, and then my medical records from my heart doctor, which I will get soon. I've submitted it all, it'll compile it, and then once it's done, I go through it all and make sure it's accurate and correct stories. I have to type in incidents and like how this has happened and whatever, so like the timeline of this, what symptoms I had, and it's helping me to think of other symptoms, or hey, did this happen? And so once that gets all corrected, I'll have that ready to go, and then I can decide if I have another crash like that, where my body loses, like I can't move it, all that. I will then finally, like I'll go to the hospital for that one, so they can monitor it and record it and figure out maybe there's something they could do there and see it while it's happening. I've never been on a constant blood sugar monitor and done there's a blood sugar test you can do in a hospital that they watch your blood sugar and the reaction. That one is another one I can go and do. I forgot to have my endocrinologist see if that was an option that we should do. I may try to get an earlier appointment than 6 months to do that, but if not, I'll wait for 6 months. But if that event happens again, I will definitely take all this paperwork and go to somewhere else. And that unfortunately means I would have to travel, and I would have to stay somewhere else and get this figured out. But that's where I'm at. I have put it off for a long time. Since 2022, for the last 4 years, we've been staying in Vegas and trying to figure it out here. And it's been 4 years, and more things keep happening. We have found stuff, and I have been feeling better, but the main problems are still there. So, that's about where we're at with this. So I will do probably another health update, hopefully, if I can wait for the results from this and to see what my heart doctor does. And hopefully I've gone to the endocrinologist and talked about that hospital stay to watch your blood sugar, because that is the only other thing I can think of. But we don't know why that happened at the therapist office and why so I have been trying to research about having a panic attack and what it can do to the body afterwards, and I have not found much related information. But if you know anything and send me in the right direction, that'd be great. If not, I just keep researching it. It's and I don't go off of what I research. It just helps me to bring questions to doctors, and that's how it has to be. You have to remember with everything you research online that it is just giving you ideas to bring up to your doctor, and your doctor can explain certain things. And also, do not be afraid of getting a second opinion. If your insurance can do it, second opinions are usually covered. So that's all. I'm gonna go now and go get this taken off. What they're gonna do in office, I return this equipment. They and the camera that's out there in a case. They cut this, and then I come home and take this off. So I will make another video of this removal, and maybe I'll attach it to the end of this video, or it'll be a separate one. I don't know. So anyway, all right, time to go get my skull cap taken off. I've told the kids this is what I would look like if I was had brain surgery, I guess, or if I had a wrap on that my daughter got at a thrift store, and I had this wrapped around my head, so it was like pink and cherries. So I was like, yeah, so this is kind of what my mom looked like for a while. It was with her head wraps. But then I also had a hat I was wearing. But I also, the biggest thing that I said is because I have to wear large hats and barely button them in the back because they have to be loose enough and covered. But I said that this is like the white version of Megamind, although it's not that big, but it feels that big because I do not have a big head up here. It is full of nodes and then taped nodes down to my hair, a foam wrapping taped everywhere with this gauze thing taped and then glued. So, anyway, it'll be fun taking it off. So, all right, we'll catch you next time. Okay, I just came from my appointment from getting cut free from the equipment that I was wearing. So let me take my hat off because now I get to remove it all. So they removed the netting, which you can see some of the netting here because they glued it. But anyway, I don't really need to take that off because I'm taking the whole thing off. So this netting was all the way around and then around my neck. So, so the wires, I don't know if you can see them. They're all sticking out. They cut them off. All my pretty little wires. And then, so now I get to take my hair out of it. So it is wrapped underneath my ponytail. I don't even know if I'm seeing this right because I'm just gonna pull that out. Free my hair. Okay. Yeah, this is a look, right? Okay. So there's so the instructions say that I'm supposed to soak my head in warm to hot water before trying to remove the nodes. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, the nodes and the tape. And there's 21 of them on my head underneath this. So most of this I can't do on video. I'll be in the shower doing that. And then after I remove the nodes and the tape, I have to, and this is still with warm to hot water, I have to condition first, really, really good, and try to work it all out. Shampoo, and then possibly keep conditioning to see if I had any other spots. They said I could use coconut oil, a good hair mask. I have coconut oil in the shower. If I need it, I'll use that. They said Dawn dish soap, even though that dries out your hair, you would probably have to use a good hair mask afterwards, which I don't have. So I'm hoping, and I don't have any Dawn dish soap, which is funny because I prefer that over anything else. It just breaks down oil much better and stuff. So anyway, I am going to take off this. It's like a foam wrap, but they taped it down everywhere. So I'm just going to feel for the tape and take it off and then see if I can show you the nodes. So I won't do that all on video. I'll just take off some of it. Oh, some places it's actually kind of painful. And I think the reason why it's painful is because it's kind of like when you have your hair, I don't know if guys get this maybe with a hat on or bed head, but when you have your hair like pulled up or on the top of your head and your hair is like angled in a certain way and then you pull it down, it kind of hurts and you want to move it out. I think that's because the pain I'm feeling is because those hairs have been bent out, because I don't think the nodes themselves actually hurt you. Oh wait, I might actually be able to just, no, I'm afraid of ripping my hair. The problem is I have to find where the tape ends and, oh, never mind, I can rip it. This is gonna take forever. So, all right, we're gonna pause it until I get most of this off because that's boring. Okay, so as I'm taking the tape off, it's slowly kind of coming off. So I'm just gonna be very careful because I don't want it to rip my actual hair, because some of the tape on the edges started adhering to my, and I think it might be the glue or the tape that's on these things. So, and we got some of it off. The back part just lifted right off. Yeah. Oh, these are the nodes on my forehead. Oh, that already took the node on my forehead off, so that's nice. I figured those would be the easier ones. Oh no. I feel like it's ripping my hair. I don't know what to do here. Oh, okay, that's not my hair. Oh, the ripping I'm hearing is the, oh, see that node? I'm gonna have to cut off. Hello, can't even see me now. Ooh, it's so gunky. Okay, so this node is taped all the way to the back of my head. So apparently there was 2 there. Ugh. And I'm going to have to very carefully cut the wires. All right. Oh yeah, that's stuck to my hair. I don't know what to do here because that is my hair. Trying to figure out, it's between this thing. Did he glue it to my head? I don't know why it's not coming off so easy. So that is, oh, I'm gonna end up with some baby hairs, aren't I? No, that's my hair. That is not. And then let's cut this one. That one actually came out. Let's see if this one will come out. No, that one is stuck to my head too. It's actually pulling my hair and I don't know why. It seems like the glue from this tape. Oh, this is a whole hot mess, isn't it? That is my hair. And that is my hair. Oh man. Nope, it's ripping. Oh no, I'm gonna have baby hairs. I mean, I already have baby hairs there, but that's a big chunk right here though. Yep. Oh, I hate this so much. Oh, yay. So they wrote on my head to do measurements. So there is red like markings all over my hair too. So, well, that's so pretty. Okay, that's not what it's about, right? All right, so there's the nodes. They were taped and glued. So each node has a big piece of tape like that on it, as you can see. So now I have to go remove the other 19 in the shower. Yay. Throw this away, and that's it. I guess I could show an after, but it's just me normally. So I guess I'll explain how easy or hard it was to get out, because that'll be fun. Okay, here's a better shot of everything I have to get out of my hair. There is, it is like an all over. That'll be fun. So, anyway, it's a look. Wish me luck. Okay, I have gotten all the nodes out of my hair and the tape, and let me tell you, that was the best head massage ever. But I thought about something, is that I am allergic to medical tape and band-aids, to that glue, and it usually gives me like a rash instantly that kind of forms into, like I had, you're not gonna see it on camera, like I had a scratch on my arm and the band-aid left marks where the band-aid is, and it takes a while for that to go away and heal too. So anyway, my head is probably gonna have some problems after this. So when I took the nodes out though, I'll start from the beginning. Using really hot water, I was able to remove some of the tape, and I let it sit in there for quite a while. But the tape was starting to fold over on itself, and then it would stick to itself even harder, and I couldn't get my hair out of it once it did that. It would come off my hair if it was one-sided, but then once it accidentally would fold over on my hair, it was stuck. So I did not like that, and I didn't go to my conditioner because my conditioner is kind of this mint rosemary something, and I didn't even try it. I just went straight for the coconut, and I put it in one spot and it just slid right out. So I just scooped a whole bunch, put it all over my whole head instead of just the spot. And I was just pulling them out. It was super easy after that. And then I grabbed another big scoop and put it on the back, and then another scoop for the sides. And coconut oil takes, I think it was like 2 shampoos of that type of shampoo that I had to get it out. But I already pulled the 2, so I expected 19 nodes because I thought he said 21, but I only pulled 20 nodes, and they're all out of my head. But the nodes all came, well, this one's probably the best to see it. I don't know. It came with all this gunky stuff that helps them stick to your head. This is a node where all the gunky stuff kind of came out of the center. And this one has the stuff on it. Anyway, so that's all out of my head. I pulled all of these out, so this will now be trash. And so after I did that, since that was the conditioner, I did straight to shampoo. Shampooed twice and then put conditioner in, and then shampooed again twice and then put conditioner in. I just wanted to make sure it was all out, because this stuff, even touching these nodes, is very like thick and sticky and gunky and gross. So I have to rewash my hands because it was on here. So that I'm gonna throw away. No reason to keep all that nonsense. So yeah, the coconut oil worked amazing. I can't say for the conditioner because I didn't try it, but oh my gosh, the head, do not use your nails ever to scratch your head because you damage your scalp. And knowing that I probably have like slight irritation places all over my head from the glue of the tape possibly, or even that stuff, because I have very kind of sensitive skin when it comes to things like that. So I don't know, it could just be because all the hair was, who knows, because it was severely itchy on Saturday. So Friday it wasn't as itchy, it just was there. In fact, the thing that bothered me the most was that little neck thing that they had to put around. Saturday it was itchy at sometimes, but by Saturday night it was like, it would be so itchy and I could just move it a little like this, but that would make it worse, and I would just feel the chills of the itch all over my whole body. Like it just sent like a zing all the way through my body. And then this morning I slept in until 11 because I didn't want to be awake for it. I take pills at night to help me sleep, so it knocks me out. I did kind of start getting up at about 9, and I kept going back to sleep, and I'm like, not gonna wake up till my 11 o'clock alarm. And even when I woke up, I literally left the house at 12:30, but it was insane. Oh my gosh, the itch. So thankfully I got it cut, and what time is it now? 3 o'clock. So 4 hours of it today, and that's fine. I still feel really itchy just around here, which is really crazy. The top doesn't seem to itch, it's just, and it's not even down low, it's right here. And then especially the two spots right back here. So I'm trying not to rub it, because if I already have an irritated scalp, that'll make it worse. So also, the hair loss that I had, I know it's just because when you have your hair up like that for 3 days, there is going to be nothing that can naturally fall out. So it was a lot more than normal. Hopefully it wasn't because anything ripped off. I didn't feel like I did, but there was a lot of hair in there. So I'm hoping it didn't like irritate my scalp so much that my hair was kind of falling out. But it's okay, hair regrows. Even though I have long hair, it's not super thick to begin with. So, but yeah, so expect that if you're taking it out, when I use my comb to kind of comb through it and get it out. But yeah, my hair is already super thin. I've always thought about cutting it short, but I don't like it short. So one of these days maybe I will, but I do not care. So anyway, now I just kind of blow dry it and move on with my life. The results for that take 2 weeks, and hopefully, like I said before, if I get an update on that, I will add that to the video and the results to my ChatGPT case file, in case I need it in the future. So anyways, also, I am going to emphasize another thing is warm to hot water. 2 things. One, it does, if you have dry scalp or dry hair, don't use hot water in the shower. That is the number one thing. Hot water removes oils. And also you're probably not conditioning enough down here, or you're rinsing out all of your conditioner. I forgot to, so I rinse out all my conditioner, but then I go back and put like a nickel size, because I have thin hair, and I just put it from about here down. I didn't this time, so I'll just use like a hair oil. I think I have some left. I don't usually use a lot of hair products. I do use heat protectant when sorry, I shouldn't have shown that. I do use some sort of heat protectant. It's usually whatever's on sale. Sometimes I get them at Ross. I don't know, places like that, just to save some money. But that's probably the only thing I'll use on my hair extra, unless I use dry shampoo if I'm desperate. And the other thing is, for people with chronic illness, you will resonate with this, because it's weird, because being out in the heat, if it's extreme heat, I can't handle it. It exhausts me. Being out in the warmth of the sun, probably in like the 80s, 90s, low 90s, it feels healing. It just, because it kind of helps like bones and joint aches and stuff like that. But too hot, it's not good. So when you get in the shower and you're taking a hotter shower than normal, it exhausted me so much. And also having to do the whole washing above for quite a while. I don't have the best upper body strength. That is not something I usually work on. So if you're a spoonie, you will know that your spoons will be spent. So I am exhausted right now. I'm gonna go eat a snack, check my blood sugar, and if I get tired, I'll just take a nap. But yeah, so that completely exhausted. I had to, thankfully I have a shower that has a big bench in it, so I could sit down for most of that. But I had to take a lot of breaks in between just to kind of get the energy up, and then I had to hold my head into the hot water so it wasn't running on my body. So anyway, chronic illness, that's a spoonie thing. But that was it. It wasn't, I have to say, it wasn't that bad. I'm saying that because it's over and I like to forget fast so I can move on. But I would not want to do that ever again. Wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I think it's because my skin is sensitive. It made it pretty like irritating. So unless you have sensitive skin, hopefully it won't be that bad. But that's it. So I'll catch you guys later. Okay, I had to get back on here really quick because there are actual little blisters in some spots on my head, or raised spots. I don't know if they're blisters, but if I'm gonna have to have somebody check my head, because they're like tiny little bumps. Some are bigger than others, where the nodes were. Oh my gosh, they're like all over. And when I was brushing my hair, of course this is the worst brush in the world. I need a new one. Need one that's softer. It was hurting really bad in certain spots. So I checked it, and it's not everywhere, but I mean, I don't know where the nodes were. See, I have a really big one here, and I have a couple here, but on the top of my head, I can't find any. But then in the backs where I said it was, there's bumps. All the spots that it hurts really bad. So that's not surprising, because yeah, I've got some big ones right there and there. Whew. Okay, so that's not surprising, because when I have a Band-Aid, or like I've had heart monitors before, and when they put them on your skin, that patch has to stay there. I've never done anything shorter than a week. So when I peel it off, I have literal white blisters, or not even blisters. They're like pus-filled gross. Sorry to be gross, but that is what it is. But anyway, on a side note, my hair, I could tell that there was either coconut oil in it, or maybe, I don't know, but it is so soft, and yeah, it feels like amazing. I'm gonna look into coconut oil as a hair mask, because holy crap, that was a nice easy blowout. Of course I let it air dry for quite a while first, but yeah, that was an amazing blowout. So soft. Okay, I'm gonna go curl it now. I have nowhere to go. Maybe I won't curl it. Anyway, fun stuff, right? But coconut oil, I'm gonna look into it.